everything.
Big Boy's Neighborhood. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
It is a pleasure to sit down with the one and only Alicia Keys. How are you doing, my love?
I'm so good.
Man, it's a pleasure to see you.
You too. It's been a little minute.
I know, man. You know, I remember, and we've had interviews since, but I remember at one point we had kind of a gap between interviews.
Right.
Because when I was at my largest, at my biggest, over 550 pounds, me and Fuzzy forced a lap dance on her. Yeah, and then, oh man, and we didn't put it in the out there, out in the atmosphere. But I think she went through some kind of like fat man depression. She didn't come back and do the show. No. And I remember that's why I got the surgery and got myself together. I was like, man, that's after Alicia Keys threw up, I was like, I gotta do something about this weight. But thank you for coming back to the neighborhood. It's a pleasure.
Hilarious.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are so funny, man.
Now, what's going down with Alicia Keys? First off, we gotta say, you don't say welcome back. You just say once again. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to claiming where we love you, the things that you do. So what's going on with all things Alicia Keys right now?
Everything is blessed, super incredible. Thank you for I like all the things you say. I appreciate that.
It's real talk.
And I think most importantly, just I'm feeling so ignited because I put out this new music with my new album called Here. And it is just the best music that I've done so far, I feel like.
When you say the best music that you've done, now, like for one, you have a catalog. And I think when it comes to Alicia Keys, there's no competition, but you know, it's Alicia Keys versus Alicia Keys.
Right.
Do you walk in with those kind of things on your head, or you just know that you'll make beautiful music and we'll come to it?
Well, you know, my goal is to always be the realest that I can be and bring the best music that I can bring. And that's the goal. That's the most important thing. All the other things are, you know, kind of illusions, I think, in a lot of ways. But for me, like, as long as people can feel it, like you said, as long as people are like, I feel you, that to me is the most important thing. And that's, so when I say that this is the best music I made, I feel like in a lot of ways, this album brings me back to my first album. In regards to the rawness, the real vulnerability, that just kind of like, that feeling. But it's also the wisdom that I have now and the access, lyrically the access that I have, and musically the access I have to really, you know, bring forth everything I can imagine. So boom, I really love that, how that feels. People tell me a lot, like it feels to them. A lot of people say the first record is their favorite record.
Why did you call the album Here?
I called it Here because I am here. And I've actually arrived to a place now where I can know myself. Like I know myself. I'm present right here, right now. I feel like we're all here in this moment. And what are we going to do with it? What are we going to talk about? How are we going to feel? And I think this album covers all those emotions.
With everything that goes on with social media, so many people claiming access, you know, like there's so many roads and avenues. And I remember when there was an album that came out, there was a certain amount of publications that wrote and criticized or they praised. And now everybody does that. How is it growing up as an artist and just staying not even relevant, but just like, I'm here because I've been through so much and I'm still here? Like, what does that feel like to actually still be here and everything that you would have to go through publicly as well?
I feel like, you know, being able to be the artist that I am has always been like a blessing, because I've never really fit into anybody's anything, really. And that's you know, that's not necessarily the easiest road to go, but I definitely feel it's the most rewarding way to go. So I am very, very proud that I've been able to always remain my own kind of special sauce.
Do people recognize your voice all the time?
People do recognize my voice more than I think that they will.
Because even right now, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, "Wow, that's Alicia Keys." Or when you hear a record, you're like, "Wow, like that's Alicia Keys." Like there is a sound that you can get. Like I know if I hear like Anita Baker,
right?
I know it. Like there's sounds that you'll hear and you're like, "Oh yeah." You know what I'm saying? And they're absolutely, anybody's come close, then no disrespect, it becomes like, oh, that's a sloppy carbon copy. Or that's the, you know, when we hear Alicia Keys, we don't even have to know the song. Soon as it come on, you're like, oh, that's Alicia.
That's crazy.
That's Alicia Keys.
It's happened to me before, because there's been times where like, it's like someone will say, I'll try this thing, and someone will be like, are you Alicia? And I'll be like, no, but I hear that a lot.
Right.
And they'll be like, you lying because I know your voice, and I'm like,
Like, yeah, let me get two large with mushrooms on it. Like, oh my God, girl, this Alicia Keys calling up for this pizza. Big Boy's neighborhood. Alicia Keys is in the neighborhood.
Hold on.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
need to know how much training did everybody have to go to get the timing on the answering of every time you say
Well, there was
big boy.
the initial first 2 weeks where you just had us like in a boot camp.
Yeah.
It's
And
a,
then-
for 2 weeks.
it's a boot camp.
another
You know what I'm
over.
saying? You know,
Month after.
And for the empires, if you don't mind my saying this, Alicia Keys, the empires that we run,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We have to be on top of
Tight,
everything
tight.
like
Gotta be
this.
tight.
Harmony.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not over here cracking a whip. But I do crack a look like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I would give a hey look, you know what I'm saying? Not too great. Hey, you know, that's the look right there.
So
So
a
you're
little bit
right.
after he says it, we say it. You
Right.
should try to do it with us.
Right, you know.
Let's try one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got Alicia Keys in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.
Boy.
Did
But
that work?
yeah, you did it right because
I felt
you know
like I
why?
was
You do it
Russian.
right,
bro.
no, you're not Russian for one. Now you're from Russia. Now here we go.
Oh, that's just changing.
Now I didn't even know this. Now Alicia Keys is Russian. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
my goodness.
I wouldn't mind. This is where the country's at now.
Yes.
Where this beautiful lady got to come in, and now she got to be Russian because the turmoil or whatever. You know, but you being a musician, your timing is immaculate and impeccable.
Yes.
Yes,
it is very
if I may
unmatched.
quote Mike Tyson.
I appreciate it. All right, now I got that.
Yeah,
go ahead now.
My fault. Didn't mean to cut y'all off.
Oh, please. We here with you.
Girl can't be herself. I can't tell you how much I needed to hear that just specifically the other day because it was a whole thing. But you talk like there's a line in it where you say like, why is being unique such an impurity? Did the song come first before the decision to not wear makeup or was it reversed?
The song came way before I even arrived to the place where I was, just talking about my own experience. But Girl Can't Be Herself, I think that's just been something that's been on my mind so much. And that's part of what this album is all about. It really started from this place of completely taking down any walls, taking down any veils, any reason to kind of not 1,000%, just speak truthfully to what I was feeling and what I feel like is happening around me and to us. And so, Girl Can't Be Herself, I feel like there's such a feeling for us as women that, there's such a standard, there's such like a high level of scrutiny that happens to women and to young girls. And it's really, really heavy. It's intense.
It is.
And it's like very oppressive and it's like too much, And I think that, from the minute that we're, able to see, we have this, we're fed this vision of what a woman looks like or what a woman's supposed to look like or what a sexy woman is or are you beautiful or are you not beautiful? It's like, whoa. So anyway, the deprogramming that has to happen to all of us for many reasons, but especially for us as women, is pretty intense. So I wanted to write that song just because that was how I was feeling. You know? And so later on, when it came back around later, when I was just recognizing that, I felt like I was in a lot of ways just becoming a bit of a, almost like a bit of a slave to always feeling like I had to be made up in order to go pick up my son from school, go to the grocery store, go, like down the block to meet my friend. And this was my own doing. I mean, this is something that I felt that I needed to do. But I wanted to kind of like, I didn't want to feel like that all the time. I felt it kind of made me feel crazy.
Yeah.
So again, I was expressing how I felt in my kind of personal journey, and it definitely has never been anything about like starting like a movement. Like, let's all do that. It wasn't about that, and it's definitely not about like anyone who does wear makeup is now something.
No.
It's not about that. It's definitely like I want women to feel empowered to do what they feel is best for themselves. Not because your man told you and your daddy told you and your homegirl said, "Oh, girl, you look like this," or because your boss said if you don't. It's like what feels beautiful to you so that you can just feel yourself. And whatever that is, whatever expression that is, you do that and do that fully and don't hold back and don't let nobody tell you that you're not beautiful in any way that you want to express it.
Let me ask you this. Alicia Keys is here with us. When you said or it came out that you're not going to wear makeup, did it surprise you how publicly that went out?
Kind of crazy. Like it shocked me a little bit because I was just like, first of all, I think it's a dope conversation.
Right.
I do think the conversation is dope to have. Look, some people totally they don't like it. Some people totally they feel it. Some people like and that's what I think is great. You know what I mean? We should be able to have those type of conversations and dialogues. And a lot of the songs on here is going to spawn you to talk about stuff. Like it's going to make you feel, and you're going to be like, well, what do I think about that?
Yeah.
You know, particular thing as it pertains to me. So I love that about this music. It definitely, it gives you a lot. It's like feeds you. But yeah, it was a shocker to me as to how much it became like on the news. I'm like, how about y'all put on the news how many 65 million girls don't have access to education? How about we talk about that as opposed to like who's not wearing makeup or who is or what does that mean? It's like it just kind of speaks to how, how sensational the media is, at times and how like kind of the most like irrelevant things that are kind of not really the most important news that ever needed to be reported.
And like my daughter
headlines
is 8 years of age, right? And everything that you look at shows you what your daughter or what we supposed to look like. And there's so many things now that's geared to pull your children away from you. Television, social media, when we were growing up, you probably had 6-7 channels on your television set. Now you got 600-700, and you got to extra look over what's going on and put blocks and so on and so forth. So even with my daughter, I'm afraid of her getting caught up in what somebody look like or what her size is supposed to be. Is my stomach flat enough? And she's 8 years of age.
No, it's serious like that. And it starts that young. And it's starting younger now still. Because we're becoming, everything is so visual, right? So even as an 8-year-old, you have your account or you have your Instagram, you have your thing. And hopefully, and I think it's a scary thing that people need to like that or not. Like, since when did I need you to like my picture?
And you know what? That's what I say all the time because growing up, they always told you to be a leader.
Right.
And now everybody's followers.
Everybody.
It is crazy how much you will see people that'll say, oh, I'll follow him. Or I'll follow him. Or I'll follow him. Or I meet somebody and say, oh, follow me. And I can't wait till I'm in a position where I could take my phone and, man, I'm going to throw this phone so far away from it. Wherever it break and wherever it go, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to leave. Right. I'm going to ride a horse. By then, I'm going to learn how to ride a horse. Because it's more visual if you ride off in a horse. You know what I'm saying?
Better.
All right, we got Alicia Keys. You know how to ride a horse?
You could do a tricycle, though. The tricycle
that is
dramatic.
true. That is true. But I'm going to tell you straight up, too, Alicia.
Very round the way. Can you not ride a tricycle either?
Alicia, I'm like 6'1". For one, I can get a... She said either, like I got all these downfalls.
Right.
Is that another thing you can't do? Like, Jesus Christ. I'm going to write an album called There. I'm just there by myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in full makeup. Alicia Keys, 2016 election year.
Yeah, man.
We are seeing things that we have never thought that we would bear witness to. And I mean, we've seen things in our lives. And anyone that's of age, you always, I don't know how detached people are from history now, but there was always an attachment to history where we've seen a lot. But in the last year and a half, it seemed like we have taken such a left turn without a blinker on that I can't believe where we are today in election year. People are already getting out voting and everything. How crazy is this election to you?
It is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. I mean, I definitely feel the same thing that I think we're all feeling. Like there's this like real, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of emotions that's at play. There's definitely, I think, a feeling of being misunderstood, of definitely not being seen, of being, disrespected, disregarded. I think there's a lot of different emotions that are going on in this election. I think the most kind of crazy thing about it all is I just think kind of the lack of I almost want to call it like the lack of professionalism.
Yes.
Like the lack of like actual responsibility to be a decent human being who has ideas and thoughts, positive ideas and thoughts about where the country should go.
The most important position on the biggest platform
Suddenly
with the
became
biggest country that's being projected.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, it is a mockery. It is. And it's unfortunate, I think, for somebody like Hillary, who I feel does have very clear ideas at the very least. She has very she has thoughts, she has ideas that she feels like that she would want to put into play. And I just feel like even the whole time watching the debates, which I couldn't even stomach. I couldn't even stomach watch. It felt like it was such like the whole time was just like this dog and pony trick. I'm like, what is
going on?
Whoa, what is happening? So the point is, though, I think that what's really happening is that it is a representation of how far we have not come as a country. And I think that is important that we have to be able to see that clearly and blatantly and plainly as it is right now in order for us to ask ourselves then, what do we want to do about that? You know?
And it seemed like it took some quick steps backwards so fast. Like, but it also shows at one point when we thought that things are different, you know, America is different. It kind of hits you in the face with like, no, it's not. It's not. We haven't arrived to where we thought we have arrived. You know.
Yes.
And do you feel like, not even as an artist, but just as a person, sometimes you can't just be Alicia Keys where you just make this music. Like we also put a responsibility on an Alicia Keys, and you step up to that responsibility. You've performed, you've had it. We know exactly where your views are. You know, why is that so important that you use not your voice, your singing voice, but your voice and your popularity to get people to understand what's going on?
Well, I mean, thank you for that. I think that, I mean, some of the greatest artists that I've respected all my life, you know, that's art is a cross section between, you know, socially what's going on and music. Like this cross section between art and kind of activism or just socially. Music is supposed to talk about what is happening in the world.
What's
like
going on.
That's what music does. So some of the greatest artists for me of all time, John Lennon, Nina Simone, Bob Marley, you know, Bob Dylan, you know, you can Marvin Gaye, you can Curtis Mayfield, you can name whoever you want to name. It's like, I mean, even NWA. I mean, like take it however far, whatever direction you want to take it. It's like, that's what some of the greatest art of all time were voices of what was happening right here, right now, right, you know, today in our streets. So I feel like that is part of being a timeless artist. That's part of those artists have inspired me to also have a perspective. Because I think it's really important to have a perspective, you know, and again, and to share that. Because not everybody, we all are learning. You know, we're all figuring out, what do I think? And I think a lot of stuff we're unlearning. Right. That's kind of the majority of it. We've heard so much what other people think or what we're watching on the news or what side angle that's coming from or what slanted version that is. So, you know, it definitely influences us. So to kind of come to a place where you're clear about who you are and what do you think and the learning and learning about it all, because we're all figuring it out. It's part of it. So when you are able to relate to somebody and you say, wow, I get what she means when she says that, or man, that spoke to me in some way. I think that's just a positive reinforcement that just helps us to like keep going forward.
Does Alicia Keys, do you walk into a regular polling place or would I be somewhere and be like, oh, hell, they go, or did you go absentee already?
I personally did absentee just because I'm here.
Because I would trip out
for that time. But I did go to vote for at the primaries. I vote and I walked right in.
Man.
And I went right to my little booth. You know, because you got your private little booth, and I filled up. Colored in my bubble.
Put their head in there like, Alicia, I love you.
Alicia, what are you voting?
Hold on, help me out here.
I know we're not supposed to do this, but just real quick. Just real quick. You know
Before you vote, selfie first.
With Alicia Keys. Big boy. Hello, you didn't get it right there. Alicia Keys trying to catch the big boys.
Alicia,
Show you right.
I love your message on voting for love because I feel like it brings it back to being human, because I feel like with everything that's going on, it feels like a circus almost. What is your message to those that are kind of up in the air, like, I'm not voting?
Yeah.
I just feel like we've come a really long way, and there's been so much struggle and so much fighting for just the liberty to vote. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. Like, it's such a big deal. And, you know, you think about the devastations of the past when literally, like, we were stopped. You could not even, as long as you had to walk, you couldn't even get inside the spot. So, you know, this is definitely it's something that what this country was built on. And again, is everything perfect? Is everything like exactly as it should be? No, you know, but that's part of what our responsibility is, and we have to get involved, or it doesn't happen. Like it doesn't just happen magically. Like someone else is going to make everything. No one else is going to do it if we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
and if you don't vote, somebody's going to vote for you.
Yeah. And if you don't vote, it's as if you voted for the person oppressing you. So you know, if that's what you want, if you want to be oppressed and held back, you know, then.
Well, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
There it is. I know she was asking a straight question, and I had to answer it. Big Boy Neighborhood, Alicia Keys, thank you for coming into the neighborhood, man. Here, the album available for us right now.
Beautiful.
It is here. And also tell Swizz that I said hello.
I will.
People do that, but you don't really, you know what I'm saying? People don't really go back.
Like I just left Big Boy. Oh. And I always tell him everybody say what's up.
Okay, well, you're more real than I am. Because I see people out somewhere, people be like, oh man, tell such and such to say hello. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. You know,
and you
I ain't
never
telling
tell
Doc you said hello. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, tell such a, but well, tell Swizz I said hello.
I will tell him, and I'm so glad to be here with y'all today.
It's our pleasure. Tell the family we say hello, and just everything that the movement that's going on with you as well, and just seeing and just juggling everything. I know you got to juggle life.
Thank you,
mommy, music. You know, and it's almost wrong of me to ask this, but just the values that I see, we raising our kids to the best of our ability. Great job, I feel. And my queen is amazing.
Yes.
But I do need you to take our daughter. Take my wife too. I want y'all to raise her until she's 16. And then I'll be able to come. I'll be able to come
trying to get off easy.
Oh, not. Isn't being a parent the hardest job in the world though?
It is very challenging.
Oh
it's
my
very
gosh.
rewarding, but it is very, very, and you're always learning. You're always learning. I mean, I think that's what I've learned the most about when creating this album is that there's so much to learn and there's so much to talk about and there's so much we're experiencing and it's so much to just build on. So I think I've been the most excited and proud about the way that this music has been resonating with people and how, like when you brought up Girl Can't Be Yourself, like it's just connecting because it's the truth of what we're all living and what we're feeling. So I definitely appreciate everybody who's supporting the music and feeling it and loving it. Just you must hear this album here because I promise you it's going to take you somewhere that you haven't been before.
Well, Alicia Keys, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming in.
And
I know that you're in town for a while because the voice is going on out here.
Happening.
You know, show you right. And was it hard to not turn your chair around on people?
Well, I mean, you know when you know.
Right.
And I really try to stay clear about that. But there are moments where, you know, there's like you hear something, you're like, man, they're so good. Because nobody's not good. Really, everyone who's gotten to that point is good. But sometimes you just have to hold it because you know like what you're looking for.
Well, we'll continue to watch you, my love.
It's
continue
poppin'.
to listen to you.
I appreciate it.
Here is available for you right now, Alicia Keys. Thank you for coming into the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Big Boy's Neighborhood. Hello.